Imagine this: you walk into your living room, grab the remote, and power on your Apple TV. But instead of the same familiar interface you've grown used to over the last several years, you're met with a next-generation experience so fluid, so intelligent, and so deeply integrated into your ecosystem that it makes everything before it feel like a relic from another era. Because the upcoming Apple TV isn't just another refresh, it represents Apple's complete rethinking of what's streaming. Smart home interaction, entertainment, gaming, communication, and daily living could be in 2025 and beyond. And the sheer scale of rumors, leaks, engineering reports, and industry whispers surrounding this small black box suggest Apple is building something far bigger than a TV accessory. They're designing the brain of the modern home, a device that quietly ties together the company's long-term strategy in silicon, AI, services, and ambient computing in one elegant, deceptively simple product. And to understand why the next Apple TV could become one of the most important devices in Apple's entire ecosystem, we need to start with the heart of the machine, the processor. Because the shift from the current A15 chip to the rumored A17 Pro chip represents a leap of almost absurd proportions for a living room device, instantly turning the Apple TV into what is essentially an iPhone 15 Pro without the phone parts. Delivering ray tracing graphics, high-performance rendering, ultra-efficient power management, and a level of computational headroom that no streaming box on the market even comes close to matching. And when you combine that with a rumored 8 gigabytes of RAM, double what previous models offered, you end up with a device capable of multitasking like a Mac, handling GPU-intensive games, AI-driven video processing, real-time upscaling, and instant app switching with zero lag, making the entire tvOS experience feel almost psychic in the way it anticipates and reacts to user input. And the impact this has stretches far beyond speed alone, because the A17 Pro's architecture allows developers to finally design apps and games without worrying about performance ceilings, giving Apple Arcade a chance to evolve from a casual gaming service into something that can deliver console-grade titles that families actually want to play in the living room. And while it won't replace a PlayStation or Xbox for hardcore players, the Apple TV's combination of low latency, controller support, and fast loading times could make it a surprisingly compelling option for millions of casual gamers, kids, and households who want simple plug-and-play gameplay, with no giant console and no fans blasting like a jet engine in the background. Especially when you factor in the second major upgrade, networking, because the Apple TV is rumored to debut Apple's new N1 wireless chip with full Wi-Fi 7 support, representing a massive shift in wireless performance, stability, and speed, giving users dramatically faster streaming, near-zero latency for multiplayer games, and incredibly reliable AirPlay connections even in homes packed with dozens of smart devices. And this alone could solve years of frustration for users who deal with buffering during 4K movies, laggy screen mirroring, or inconsistent wireless signals. But Apple's ambitions go far beyond speed, because the arrival of Apple Intelligence on Apple TV made possible by the A17 Pro could fundamentally transform how people use their televisions, turning Siri from a basic command system into an advanced, context-aware assistant capable of delivering personalized recommendations, deep content discovery, mood-based suggestions, and even real-time scene analysis for enhanced visuals, allowing users to say things like, "Find a comedy I haven't watched yet, but will enjoy based on what I liked last month," or "Show me a short movie I can finish before 10 p.m., or recommend something relaxing after a stressful day." And instead of general lists, Apple Intelligence will analyze viewing habits, preferences, watch history, and even environmental cues to produce tailored results instantly. And beyond content discovery, AI-powered upscaling could breathe new life into older content, sharpening visuals, enhancing dynamic range, and subtly improving frame consistency so that older TV shows look stunning on modern 4K and 8K displays. And this feature alone could spark enormous interest among users who own large movie libraries or frequently stream older shows that weren't designed for today's high-resolution TVs. But perhaps the most surprising leak is the possibility of a built-in camera for FaceTime, gesture controls, and room awareness, marking a major shift from Apple's current approach of relying on continuity camera via the iPhone. Because with an integrated camera, users could simply say, "Hey Siri, FaceTime Dad," and begin a call instantly on the big screen without needing to mount, position, or pair another device. And gesture control could radically redefine how we interact with our TVs by letting users wave to pause content, swipe to skip ahead, move their hand to adjust volume, or navigate menus without touching a remote. Which sounds futuristic but aligns perfectly with Apple's long-term interest in spatial interaction technology, Vision Pro integration, and non-touch interfaces. And if the Apple TV becomes capable of recognizing gestures reliably and naturally, it could make the remote optional for the first time, opening doors to accessibility improvements and making media control feel more immersive and intuitive. But of all the rumors swirling around this device, the one creating the biggest shockwave is pricing. Because multiple reports suggest Apple may price the new Apple TV under $100. A radical move designed to dominate the streaming device market by turning the Apple TV from a premium accessory into a mass adoption product. And the logic behind this strategy is simple. Apple makes far more money from long-term services Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, Apple Fitness Plus, iCloud than from one-time hardware purchases, and by lowering the entry price, Apple massively expands the number of households using its services daily, effectively transforming the Apple TV into an ecosystem gateway, the anchor point for entertainment, gaming, home automation, and AI-driven experiences. And this brings us to one of the most important aspects of the upcoming Apple TV, its role as the central smart home hub. Because for years, Apple has positioned the Apple TV as the brain behind HomeKit, Matter devices, automations, and home security integrations. But with the A17 Pro's power and Apple's new push into the smart home category, the next Apple TV could become a true command center for the connected household, managing cameras, locks, thermostats, sensors, alarms, and appliances from a single unified interface that is faster, more secure, and more intelligent than anything currently available. And when paired with Apple Intelligence, users could receive predictive suggestions like adjusting lighting based on time of day, locking doors automatically at bedtime, detecting unusual activity on security cameras, or optimizing energy usage during peak hours, essentially turning the Apple TV into a silent digital caretaker embedded into the fabric of daily life. And the timing of its release, rumored for October or November 2025, aligns perfectly with Apple's yearly strategy of targeting the holiday season, a period when families spend more time indoors streaming movies, gaming together, and buying new tech, making the Apple TV a perfect gift that's both affordable and deeply integrated into Apple's wider ecosystem. And although the Apple TV might not receive the same level of hype as the iPhone or Mac, its impact on daily life could be far greater because it's the only Apple device that sits at the center of the home. Always on, always ready, and always connected, serving as the bridge between entertainment, communication, automation, and artificial intelligence. And if Apple truly delivers on all the leaks, A17 Pro performance, 8GB RAM, Wi-Fi 7, built-in camera, gesture control, Apple Intelligence, HomeKit evolution, and aggressive pricing, then the upcoming Apple TV won't just be an upgrade. It will be the beginning of Apple's long-promised vision for the smart home of the future. A future where your TV doesn't just play movies, but acts as the digital soul of the household, orchestrating everything quietly and intelligently behind the scenes, redefining what it means to interact with technology at home, and setting a new standard for the entire industry. Because while competitors focus on low-cost sticks and basic streaming boxes, Apple is preparing something far more ambitious. A device that merges entertainment, AI, gaming, video calling, automation, and computational power into a single elegant square that sits beneath your TV, waiting to transform the way you live, watch, play, and connect for years to come.